Hey everyone, welcome back to Retro Gaming Ledger. Today I wanted to share with you my 4 for 40 pickup that I went to GameStop. I saw that deal. I knew where some $20 games were. I had remembered that they had box art at this one store, and I had looked online to see what other games they had, and this store was the leader that had the most $20 and below value games, basically in their inventory. I saw that online, made a list. I didn't know exactly what other games had box art, so I was kind of going in blind. I knew one game that I absolutely wanted was there, had box art, so I was like, I'm going there. And it was kind of relatively close by, so it wasn't a long trip. So I chose that one. I was a little bit disappointed because the games that I did get, I didn't get any manuals. None of the games had manuals. And that's just like a pet peeve of mine when dealing with GameStop. It's kind of a mixed bag. You don't know if you're going to get a manual. You don't know if you're going to get box art. A store can say that they have the game and that's it, and you're basically getting a loose game. You might not get a manual, so it kind of sucks. But it is what it is. I was happy to get the box art. Let me show you what I picked up. This one was what I went to the store for to get the deal, basically getting half off at $10 for the game. I got the Saboteur, which is a really, really cool open world Paris game where you're basically blowing up things against the Nazi resistance in Paris. It's very GTA-like, or Just Cause-like. The gameplay is great. The story is great. The dialogue's great. I played 30 minutes of it. I love it. I need to play more, but I'm just running out of time during the day. But it's certainly fun gameplay, very, very unique. Um, I got this for $10. It does not have the manual. That kind of disappointed me. Has the disc and box art. So it'll have to do. $10, not bad. If I want to get the manual later, I can go to a retro game store and look there, or I can look on eBay. But it's kind of a mixed bag when you're dealing with GameStop. Sometimes you luck out. A lot of the a lot of the cheaper games, you're probably gonna get the manual. I wonder, and I'd like to find this out at GameStop, if they are collecting high dollar, high value manuals and pulling them from boxes on trade-ins. Same thing with box art. Are they holding box art? This would be something to ask GameStop, you know. So I don't think they'll ever answer truthfully, but I would think that they probably are taking box art because of just the sheer, there's hardly any available of the high dollar games, which is kind of unique. So um, I'll move on. This is the other game that I wanted. This is one of the two um, 007 games that I've been looking for at the $20 range. This one was at 15. The other game that I was looking for was GoldenEye Reloaded. It was between these two. This one was at the store I went to. It had box art, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get this. This is going to be part of the deal. And I'll also mention this on the side. The 4 for 40 deal, where it's $10 each, $20 or less game, the manager was able to actually, I don't know if he's a manager or employee, but he was able to work out a deal where I could get 3 games for $10 a piece and get a $5 game. So really everything came to 35, which is weird. I have no idea how it worked out. I didn't have to get another $20 game. I just got a $5 game, and the other ones were 10. So I don't know how he did it. I didn't ask. He just got it to work, and I was happy about it. But I got this, and it looks really cool. A multitude of different Bond films between Die Another Day, License to Kill, Goldfinger, a Moonraker. Definitely haven't played this yet, but definitely want to try it very, very soon. Got to find the time to do it. But definitely wanted to add this to my collection. And, you get $5 off the game to the $10 mark. You know, I don't get a manual. That kind of stinks, but you know what? this could be kind of fun. So definitely adding it to my collection. I was happy to get it. Another one, Transformers game at the $20 range, so I got this half off. This is one of the more common Transformer games. All the Transformer games are practically doing extremely well, like the War for Cybertron, and lots of them are appreciating in value. And I wanted to pick one up. I didn't have a single Transformers Xbox 360 game. I've heard they're a lot of fun, and I saw it was available, so I jumped on it. No manual, that kind of stinks. I get a little disc in a, I guess you can say envelope, which is kind of lame, but you know, I'm happy to get it. I'm happy to get it, and I really want to try it out at some point. Um, Another thing, this is a mistake on me. So this is the $5 game. This is the $5 game I got. So these were the 30, the 10 each, which not not bad for $30 for these three. Not bad. Here's the $5 game. So I've been on a binge of collecting and getting as many Fable 2 games from Gamestop because they're currently at $5 a piece. And if they do the promo, you can get them for $2.50 each. And Fable 2 is far superior Fable game on the 360, more so than Fable 3. Fable 3 kind of was a flop, and Fable 2 is the crown jewel compared to the two. I saw this. It intrigued me. The limited collector's edition. I don't know if you can see it. And pretty cool artwork. I looked it up on price charting, and I mean, the price was at $28. And I got giddy. I got really giddy because considering it was a $5 game. And I go, okay, I'm definitely getting that. When they started looking behind the counter for everything, it was just the disc. I thought it was going to include a manual and whatever else, maybe a bonus DVD. I wasn't sure. I didn't do the due diligence to know what the contents of it were. I just saw the box, and I assumed that all the other contents would follow because they have the box art here. This is unique. Not everyone has box art like this and doesn't include all the inserts. So I was figuring I'd get everything. Um, and I didn't look into it and make sure and say no, but basically I got a regular Fable 2 disc with a fancy box for $5. So that was kind of disappointing too. So, I did get some really cool games, but I'm like half enthusiastic about it and I'm kind of disappointed. I'm kind of a learning experience. Um, you know, I know this comes with like a bonus DVD and a really unique manual, and I basically got Fable like 2 for $5, which is fine because the game is appreciating pretty well um, compared to a lot of the Fables. Maybe not as much as Fable 1, but certainly more than so than Fable 3. So, you know, that's pretty much my shopping trip. I guess the learning lesson from it was always check before you buy. Ask and look online, ask AI what comes with the collector's editions whenever you buy it from GameStop, because you are going to get a mixed bag from GameStop. This makes me think that GameStop is maybe processing specialized items that are part of complete sets, and we're just getting the scraps. That could be a possibility. I don't know. I don't think they could ever confirm it, but it feels like occasionally, we're getting, a few things here and there. We box art. I've asked a bunch of stores, why don't we get complete in box? Why can't you list complete in box? And they said it's impossible. But we have a local retro gaming store that does that pretty easily. They update loose discs in complete in box in new. So to me, and they're a small operation. GameStop's a huge operation, so it doesn't make sense to me that they couldn't do that. And honestly, they advertise. If you go on their website, they're showing the box art. They're showing previews. So if they're showing box art, why isn't the box art available in the stores? So you should get a discount, I think, if you're just getting a disc and a placeholder box from GameStop. They should provide something. They, yeah, they don't, they want to be part of the retro community, but they are not being truthful to that aspect of the retro community by looking at what people want is the box art. They want to actually physically hold something. It's good to have the game. That's awesome. But they need to understand the concepts between loose and comes in box. And they need to know those terms and they need to practice those terms. Um, so, all right. That's pretty much my rant for the evening. But I'm happy to get the games. And I did get them at a good deal. I can't complain that I've got basically, I got 3 games that are really good for $10 a piece, and with box art. So that's pretty good. Just a little disappointed. I didn't get a single manual. Not a single manual. Out of all those really awesome games, even this one, even $5 for this, for Fable 2 is good. So an average day. It wasn't like a celebratory day. I did have a really good Facebook Marketplace pickup, though. Let me show you. 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. 1 second. I picked this up maybe 45 minutes ago for $10. Game of the year, Fallout 3, $10. This I got for a steal. This is a steal. It's a Platinum Hits game of the year, which I think is I think we're in the $20 range at this point. I think it got up to like $24 at some point. So this one's looking good. The chart's looking good. So I was happy to get this. That was cool. It was cool. That kind of redeemed the day. But yeah, so we can continue this video. We'll briefly look at the price charts of the pickups that we had. What else? I kind of wanted to go over something kind of interesting. There's a price, I guess you can, price argument or price dilemma between GameStop and local retro gaming stores. I noticed pricings of Fable 2 and Fable 3 are vice versa with each other, which is very strange. I don't know why they're doing it. I asked AI a bunch of questions, and I'll kind of go over it with you guys and see what you guys think. But yeah, yeah, I think there's some confusion, or there's some pricing differences, I guess you could say, on what's valuable, which can help us understand maybe the retro gaming market a little bit better. So let me get right into the pricing charts, and we can talk about the comparison between the two, entities, the retro gaming store and GameStop. All right, bye. Okay, guys, we're back. We're going to look at the pricing charts of what we just went over. We've got, this was the Fable 2 pickup that I got from GameStop. I got it for $5. But I didn't do the research to look at what it included. It's the limited collector's edition. The box was really cool looking. And I kind of just assumed that everything would be with it because of how unique it looked. And usually on these unique box sets, they include everything. You get a manual or you get a map, and I just assumed it, and I was wrong on it. And that's okay though, because it's a great learning experience. But if we were to have the bonus DVD and everything, look at the pricing on this chart. Fascinating. I mean, look at this. I was giddy. When I saw this chart, I was like giddy at $25. I was like, oh my God.
I was like, do they realize they're selling it for $5? And then I realized maybe they are. They are realizing they're just selling me the game. Um, but with some cool box art, you know. But this tells me Fable 2, you know, there's some demand, there's some interest in getting Fable 2. If the collector's edition is going up like this, if a limited collector's edition is going that with bonus DVD and manual, then things are happening. Things are happening with the game in general. So so the $5 doesn't hurt as bad, I guess you could say. It's acceptable. It's acceptable. So I thought the chart. Well, I was really happy when I saw the chart, but you know that's a whole nother issue. Um, let's move on to the other game I had. I had Transformers: Dark of the Moon. All right. So here we are with this one. I thought this chart looked pretty good. I look okay. It's okay. It's an okay chart. It's kind of, I don't want to say flat, but it's definitely, you know, a slow riser. I think I got this because I really didn't have another Transformers game, and I saw this gradual rise, and you know, I wanted a Transformers game, and this is my point of entry, I guess. But complete price at 19. We picked this up for $10 basically, and doesn't have a manual. Um, but you know, so really the value we got out of it is probably about, oh, the loose price is at 16, which is pretty significant. So probably about $17, $18. I mean, maybe get away with $19. I don't know, but you know, I was happy to pick it up for $10. I'm going to play it. I've heard these games are really a lot of fun, and yeah, the chart doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look like a banger like we've seen in previous charts, but it's certainly going up. It's just at a snail's pace, which is fine. You know, it's fine. It looks good. Um, but it looks like fun. It looks like fun. So adding it to my collection. Let's now look at 007 Legends. One of the I still want to get 007 GoldenEye Reloaded. It's still on my list, you know. It's on my list. It's $20 though, so it's like I look for the deals. I'm not gonna get it right now, but because I keep spending on these games. But here is 007 Legends. I got it for $10. Complete price $17.45. I'm a big Bond fan, so having access and playability of all these different games is kind of cool. And yeah, yeah, I definitely want to experience Goldfinger and breaking into Fort Knox. That's going to be pretty fun. Um, but you know, on the chart, man, look at that price spike in January 2022. That was the, I guess you could say that's the retro all-time high, the retro gaming price all-time high. It's right in the COVID time frame. It came back down, and it looks like it's leveled off. It is leveled off. I could say the pre-COVID hype and spike, and now it's you know, it's creeping a little bit up, slowly, slowly. It's creeping up a little bit. It was coming down, and then all of a sudden shot back up. So I think it's going to be steady in this range. It's probably going to break out to $20 in the next. It could break out $20 next year. If I were to guess, it'd probably be 2027. It breaks out at 20. We need another half a year at least. So 2027 is probably going to be above $20. It's looking like it. Um, could go down though, but I was just happy to get in my collection. I'm a big Bond fan, so definitely gonna try this out. 1 to 4 players, looks like fun. So got that for my collection, and then of course let's look up the Saboteur. Xbox 360. We are complete price at $23.30. The chart looks beautiful. Let's look at the loose price. I'm just curious. loose price is going up. Clearly, the loose price is going up. It's moving. It's moving in tandem with the box. So, um, yeah, I like that chart a lot. It looks like we had that spike. We didn't have a COVID spike, but instead we had a spike of 20, an all-time high in June of 2024, $27, and then it came down, but now it looks like it's leveling out and resurging again at 23. So it's doing pretty well in the chart. The game's fun. I can tell you, it's basically like Just Cause. It's Just Cause, but fighting Nazis. Um, so definitely fun. Definitely worth $10. I cannot complain about spending $10 on this game. Very unique to my collection. I'm probably never gonna sell it. Um, and yeah, I was very happy to get it. I'll do one more price lookup, and then we'll talk about the price differences between GameStop and the local retro store. Here's Fallout 3 Game of the Year. Got it for $10 from private seller. Game of the Year, and this is a platinum hits. There we are. Picked it up for $10. The chart looks outstanding. All-time high, January 2025. What, a year ago, year and a half ago, $23, $24. Now it's leveled off at 20. It's gonna retest it. It's gonna retest it at some point, sometime soon, probably. The reason why this game is going up is because it contains a second physical disc with the DLCs on it, and I was really giddy when I popped in the disc, the physical disc, and it asked me if you want to update, and I was really hesitant because I didn't have an Ethernet cable plugged in to my 360. So I was like, oh, if I click this, it might ask to go online. But it started installing from the disc, and it was the most beautiful thing ever. It was one of the best things I had felt in a long time. Basically, I didn't need to be connected to the internet, and I could install something. So I was pleasantly surprised when that happened, and that's why these discs are going up, because it has everything you need on this in this package. The complete game with DLC is on here. You don't need to go online. You could be in a cabin in the woods and install everything you need. So that's why it's going up. That's why everyone wants it. So I got the Game of the Year. I got that for $10. Cool deal. So I'll move on. We're going to talk about GameStop and the local retro gaming store that I go to. It's called Core Gaming. I really like them a lot. And here's GameStop, and I'll show you the difference in pricing. All right, Fable 2. We looked at this is showing all the Fables. I'll do this. Fable 2. Okay. Sometimes they show complete in box. All right, so notice the difference between here's GameStop's at $4.99. Often you can find a complete in box at GameStop. That's an often paradigm because they always have manuals and everything. Here it could be a mix. It's usually complete in box here as well. They're both complete in box usually. I usually don't get a placeholder box for GameStop, but look at the price difference: $9.99, $4.99. Who is getting this price right and who's getting this price wrong? I would argue. Oh my God! Look at the photograph at GameStop. No, wow. Look at the price. Look at what the price is saying here. I just saw the sticker, $2.99. That's wild. That is wild. I just saw that. That is from the local retro games pricings. 2.99. So, and GameStop is only brought it up to about 4.99, and they're pricing it. The local core gaming is pricing it at 10. Look at the price difference. That's 3, and they're selling it for 10. That's a significant price rise um, between the two. $3 here, and that was probably, God, I have no idea when, but they have risen the price. GameStop is slow to the game. They're lagging a little bit. So that's why I think this price point is, especially when they go 50% off, is just a steal. It's a steal for this game. At 250, I mean, it's like a pack of chewing gum. And then you have digital software that can be transferred and sold later. Um, so yeah, that's I think Core Gaming's probably getting this price right, and Fable or GameStop's getting this. They're lagging. They don't understand. They I think they see that they have too many copies of this game and they want to get rid of them. But there's a bad approach in that because discs can go missing over time, and then all of a sudden you're going to play the oh shit game. They're going to be close to the oh shit game. Now, stay with me and look at Fable 3, and you tell me. I'll show you the difference. They're pricing Fable 3 at $10. They price Fable 2 at $5. Why are they pricing this at $10? Now look at Core Gaming. They're pricing Fable 3 complete in box at $5. Okay? So Core Gaming is basically saying this is a $5 game, and GameStop is saying this is a $10 game. Somebody's getting this price wrong. Now, fans of the Fable series would say Fable 2 is a much better game than compared to Fable 3. There's a consensus that Fable 2 was a much better game, was the pinnacle of the 360 Fable games. So I think GameStop is getting this price wrong. They should be at $5 here. I don't know if it's availability because less copies were sold of Fable 3, and because there's scarcity, they think that they're playing the numbers game, and that's why they're pricing the $9.99. I would like to get GameStop's explanation on this to see what their reasoning is, because that would tell us a lot about the gaming industry and the gaming market overall. Like, why are they pricing this far more superior than 2? 2 is an older game too, so you have to realize that discs go missing, discs get damaged over time. These are newer. There could be maybe a larger swath of games that are still active and not missing. So I would like to know. I don't know if anyone from GameStop could tell us what is going on with the pricing on that. You know, because that's kind of just a weird, odd thing that doesn't make sense to me. So I thought I'd share that with you. Leave a comment below and tell me what you guys think about this pricing difference and what it could potentially say. And do you think GameStop's getting this right, or do you think the local retro store is getting this right at pricing at $4.99? This is a great store. I think they price things appropriately and reasonably. But you're going to probably find better deals on occasion at GameStop. But you won't get the complete in box. That's the only thing. The local retro gaming store, you're going to get a lot of complete in box. You're not going to get that at GameStop. You might not even get a box. You might not get box art. I should rephrase it. But if you do, I'll show you a brief sample of this retro gaming store called Core Gaming. Let me see if I can find Xbox. Let's do 360. And we'll show you a couple examples of their pricing and how reasonable I think it is. Syndicate. This is a game that is growing in price. I got it actually at GameStop with box art. I don't know if I got the manual, but I got it for $5 because it was $10 and I got it half off. Let me see. Syndicate. Yeah, $10 and I got I got it with the promo, so I got it 50% off. That was a steal. I got that for a steal. But if we look at the price charting, let's look at the price charting real fast of Syndicate. Syndicate, there we are. Okay, price charting is telling us this game peaked at $22, and it's getting close to its peak again. Core Gaming is closer than GameStop on this. They are being more aggressive and probably a little bit more accurate. So that kind of tells me something. Maybe GameStop is just not understanding game values and they're pricing under. Maybe they're expecting that there might be just the disc and maybe it's just no box art. I don't know, but they should explain that how their pricing models are. I don't think they ever will, but here's my copy of Transformers Dark of the Moon, Core Gaming. I got it for $10. So this is that's disc only. Let me go. Okay, so they priced it the same as GameStop. It was $20 at GameStop. This is matched price. So there's a consensus on this game at 20. That was interesting. I thought there was a price difference, but that was disc only. I don't know what else. Let's see. Let me see if I can find something else. All right, I'll have to leave it at this. We'll do the price comparisons at another video. But let me know what you guys think. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.